Imagine trying to hit a bullseye in a pitch-black room. You throw a dart, hear a thud, throw another. Turn the lights on, you wouldn't see a bullseye. You'd see darts clustered in the wrong spot. You haven't improved, you've just automated a bad habit. That light switch is a feedback loop. It's the mechanism your brain uses to figure out which muscle movements to keep and which to discard. Think about practicing a piano piece alone in your living room. Without a teacher or an accurate recording to guide you, it's incredibly easy to play a rhythm slightly off or miss a subtle dynamic shift without ever noticing. The physical cost of this is high. By the time a teacher points out that error 2 weeks later, those incorrect movements are already physically wired into your neural networks. Racking up thousands of hours of repetition will actually make you worse unless you receive immediate, accurate information about your output. Most of the time, the feedback we get is binary. We see a test score, or a coach says, "Good job." It tells you if you passed or failed, but it gives you nothing to work with. To actually improve, we have to expand this cycle into diagnostic feedback. It's a 4-step process: action, result, diagnosis, and adjustment. It starts by making a highly specific attempt, your action, and immediately observing the exact result. In the diagnosis phase, you isolate the specific variable behind the failure. You move past the general feeling of a mistake to identify if your wrist dropped or if your timing was off by a fraction of a second. Once you isolate the flaw, you make a targeted physical or mental adjustment for the very next attempt. True learning requires pinpointing exact weaknesses and immediately modifying your approach. This targeted struggle is what forces your brain to adapt. Over weeks of practice, these diagnostic cycles begin to reorganize how your brain stores the skill. It builds what psychologists call an internal blueprint, a highly detailed mental representation of exactly what perfect execution looks and feels like. When you first start learning a skill, you lack this blueprint entirely. You have to rely on an external coach, a teacher, or a video playback to diagnose your mistakes for you. But as you receive consistent, high-quality feedback from those external sources, your brain uses that data to slowly internalize the correct model. Take a figure skater learning a new jump. They can't know what a clean double axel feels like until they've actually landed it. They have to rely on their coach's feedback to build a mental image of the perfect angle, speed, and timing, step by step. Think about a hobby you're trying to master right now. When you make a mistake, who usually spots it first? Is it you or someone else? If someone else is still pointing out your errors, your internal blueprint is under construction. The ultimate goal of all that external feedback is to finish building this permanent mental model. The true objective of a feedback loop is to make itself obsolete. You want to reach a point where you no longer need the teacher. Once that internal blueprint is fully formed, you become capable of generating your own diagnostic feedback. An expert can instantly compare their real-time performance against the perfect model held in their mind. Because the model is so detailed, they can immediately feel when they are slightly off balance, out of tune, or missing a step. And because they know exactly what went wrong, they know exactly how to fix the error on the fly. This creates a virtuous circle. Better execution sharpens the internal blueprint even further, which in turn unlocks the ability to push the skill to even higher levels. Feedback loops are the engine of skill acquisition. They take you out of the dark room of blind repetition and allow you to surgically build a master blueprint in your mind.